name is Victoria Duben. I'm a founder of Viewst, which is ads builder. It enables users who have no design experience to build professional design ads of any kind at scale. I founded the company in 2017, and since then we raised nearly $1 million in funding and expanded to 8 countries on 3 continents. I graduated from physics department of Moscow State University, and I love physics. And I studied a lot of physics and mathematics in a high school, and I had amazing teachers, and that is probably why I love physics so much. When I graduated from physics department, I applied for a scholarship program for PhD in the United States. And the thing is, I was actually, I entered one program, but I was waiting for the papers for nearly a year and a half. And frankly speaking, I gave up. So while waiting for the papers, I joined the hedge fund, and that's how it all started. And in a way, managing portfolio is similar to be a scientist, I would say. Say that analyzing companies traded on the stock exchange is in a way similar to solving the scientific problems. The approach, I would say the approach is very similar. So you should jump out of the box and try to imagine different scenarios and try to calculate different ways of developing the situation, and it's in a way similar, and that was very interesting, and I loved it a lot. Richard Branson from Virgin. That was probably my first book I've read about, great entrepreneurs. And as many people know, he didn't study at a high school or in a university. So he's an entrepreneur by nature. And the whole story of his business is about checking the hypothesis, trying different things, and being a very passionate person. And that's inspired me a lot. At some point when I was based in New York, it was just nearly 1 year ago, and it was a stage of our startup which is called Death Valley. When you checked your MVP and you see the feedback from the market that they like your product, but at a very small scale. And then you need to scale up this and to expand sales and to grow your sales, to grow your business. But this is completely different thing comparing to checking your MVP. And lots of startups shut down at this stage when they need to move forward from MVP to sales. And I faced pretty much same challenges as every startup does. And it was very scaring. It was hard, and at some point I was very close to give up. But every time I was thinking of Richard Branson, I was thinking of Phil Knight, founder of Nike, and other founders, great founders who inspired me, and probably Steve Jobs as well. And waking up in the morning, I thought, no, I give it another try, because I love what I do, because I have an amazing team supporting me. So let's give it another try. If not dreams, then what? So like working like hell just for money, I don't think it's a good idea. Like, life is very short, and the current situation showed that everything could happen like all of a sudden. And if you are not doing what you love and what brings you joy and happiness, then why? When you are talking to a team, and we had times when I didn't have money to pay salaries, and we really suffered, different things during, like in operations. And my team, they shared the dream with me. And that's probably why, they stayed close and they didn't give up, and they followed not my dreams, but their dreams. This is a good question. At first point, I didn't realize, so I didn't actually think about it. I truly agree with you that the biggest inspiration is my mom, because she was an entrepreneur as well, and she showed me a very strong example. And when I was maybe early 20s, I used to be a tennis coach while studying at the university, and lots of my students, they were men in their 30s, and they were entrepreneurs, very successful ones, and they all advised me to become an entrepreneur. They told me, you have something which should drive you, should help you. And at that point, like 15 years ago, I couldn't imagine myself being an entrepreneur, because my question was, what do I know? How can I start? Like, I know nothing. It's so scary. And then, I've read about Zaha Hadid, and she inspired me a lot as a successful and amazing and great woman. And especially, being from a country where women don't have, many rights and opportunities to study or doing something. And yeah, she inspired me a lot. And when I turned out to be an entrepreneur, accidentally, I still think it happened like accidentally. And I started to think about my role in being like inspiration for somebody else. And I think there are so many great women around us. And I meet so many great women like in my everyday life, on a meetup, on the conferences, I don't know, everywhere. And probably not much of them think that they have something to start, I don't know, to become an entrepreneur. And I think that it would be great to support them, to show the like to become an example for them, to support them, to share my experience. And when you have a combination, male and female founders, I think this is probably the best example, when you can combine the best expertise from different mindsets. But currently, if we see different analytics, we can hardly find maybe 10% of female founders. We see the good trend of growing this number of women as a top managers of big corporations or founders, but it's still very low. Probably don't be afraid to do what you really love, or to do something which inspires you a lot. Just don't be afraid. It's not a man's world, no. It's just I feel like but we used to live in such a paradigm that it's a man's world, but it's not.